What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Dota 2 commentary brought to you by yours truly, B-Bomb, the one, the only. If there's another B-Bomb, then he's obviously a liar and a cheat. So don't take candy from that B-Ballin's windowless fan. You can only take candy from my windowless fan. And we have a matchup between No Tidehunter on the right side and 3D Max. This is again the Raidcall Dota 2 League Season number 2, and this is game number 2. Again, there are literally 800,000 twos that are going to be in the title of this game. Might be a slight exaggeration right there, but close enough. But yeah, it's actually pretty interesting to me that game 2s are always a lot more competitive than game 1s, usually because the losing team has the time to adapt, get a little sense on what the winning team does better, and the winning team might just, you know, not be able to adapt to the changes that the second team does put in. So that might be the indication why Game 2s are a lot more competitive. And as always, if you want another version of your commentary, check out twitch.tv/OneMoreGameTV2 or youtube.com/myegnet for AC and Bulba's cast. Yes, I think Bulba was the caster in this game. This game was played just a couple of hours ago, so it's hot off the presses, and I'm gonna be bringing you this action by myself, flying solo, forever alone, except when I'm not alone, so almost forever alone.
Radiant team ban.
But yeah, matchup between 3D Max and No Tidehunter. And actually, the first game, just to give you a little bit of background information on this series, 3D Max not doing the best since entering the Raidcall Dota 2 League just yet, but they're a good team. Maybe not on the caliber of No Tidehunter, but they're pretty close. They're really a competitive team and make for a lot of exciting games. And they really rely on their teamwork, but No Tidehunter definitely has extremely strong teamwork in their own right. But just to give you a little bit of background information on this series, Game 1 actually wasn't that one-sided, funnily enough. I think it was relatively even, but since there are just so many games coming out, well, it wasn't really relatively even, but it wasn't super one-sided like the Pinot game that I casted recently. It was competitive for most of the time, I do believe. I just checked at the replay bar just to see. And unfortunately, there are just so many professional Dota games being released lately that I want to bring you the better versions, better games of this series. And if there is a high quality series, then I'll try to bring you the entire series, but I don't think Game 1 will meet the standards of the rest of the series, especially not Game 2, which hopes to be a very exciting game. And yeah, we'll get right into the analysis. But yeah, Dota 2 games, so many picks, or so many tournaments going on right about now. I wonder how players do find the time to do it, unless they're getting paid salary. So, you know, so many tournaments, but people have to find the time to either cast or play in all of them. I mean, I can barely just do one game a day, but still, you know, keeping it up. Anyway, gonna have No Tidehunter on the rain side, banning out the Undying Lovesteer. They did have the first pick, gonna pick up the Darkseer, meanwhile 3D Max gonna mount the NA and the Batrider. 3D Max gonna pick up the Shadow Demon. So they have their primary ganking support, Shadow Demon, very trendy lately. And they have the potential to perhaps choose Magnetar. I think Magnetar would be a solid choice. If you give No Tidehunter, Darkseer, and Magnetar, that could be a problem. But interestingly enough, Lone Druid was not picked or banned just yet. And we all know Admiral Bulldog's claim to fame was with that Lone Druid in public games before he first got recruited. Of course, he's proven to be a very versatile offlaner, laning very well with heroes like Darkseer, Bounty Hunter, Magnus, etc., etc. But yeah, hopefully we'll see an Admiral Bulldog, Lone Druid, and we'll see what 3D Max decides to do. No, 3D Max is going to pick up the Luna. So they're leaving both Lone Druid and Magnus still in the pool. And there goes the Lone Druid right there, Gyrocopter for Aki, as No Enter really the pioneer of using typical carry heroes as supports, as I wouldn't be too surprised to see Eternal Envy choose perhaps Sven as a support in this game, because Sven pretty tanky, and Luna does, you know, do quite a bit of damage. But that means Magnus is still left in the pool, and I think No Tidehunter to make a decision. Alright, we have our long lane, we have our potential mid lane in the Lone Druid, or we could swap up throws, put Darkseer in mid lane, Lone Druid in long lane, so we'll just give up Magnus anyway. So 3D Max are just like, okay, we're gonna give him the gamble. Either they get Magnus, or they get Lone Druid, and we'll just pick up the other one. We don't really need to show our hand too early on, we'll just pick up a carry right now before No Tidehunter can really ban out. Or even pick up Luna for Loda, who does play a very strong Luna. So, right now 3D Max, they have two of their components of their trial. They have the potential mid lane or off lane. 3D Max being on the dire side, Magnus won't be as easily able to escape, nor will he be able to pull the creeps as if he were on the Rain side if he were in that off lane. So it's probably a better idea for 3D Max to put Magnus in the mid lane in this situation, but still, it's really too early to tell. Magnus does do an admirable job in the off lane, even on the dire side in a lot of situations. Meanwhile, No Tidehunter, they do have the Lone Druid. I think it'll be Admiral Bulldog in the off lane, because Admiral Bulldog plays the off lane and he plays the Lone Druid. A shocking conclusion brought to you by Captain Obvious himself. And I guess Darkseer probably going to be in the mid lane, so Magnus might just go against the Darkseer, and Magnus actually does reasonably well because the Shockwave's so low mana cost and just a lot of damage that can sort of compete with Iron Shell, if not do a reasonable job in terms of harassing Darkseer himself. So I think it will be a Darkseer versus Magnus mid lane matchup. And No Tidehunter gonna ban out Broodmother, so they're anticipating Magnus will go in the mid lane, and they're gonna ban out off lane heroes that might give them a bit of trouble. And Gyrocopter can't really do too much against Broodmother in terms of harassment, because Broodmother almost as fast as Gyro under the web, if not faster, once she gets a couple points into that. And of course going invisible. And I guess Aki doesn't really want to buy two-way Centaurs in the early stages of the game, because Gyrocopter, his real primary thing about being a sport is that he doesn't need items in order to cast Rocket Barrage. It's such a low mana cost and just does so much damage that he can function pretty well without farm in a lot of situations. Now, of course, as support, you can't really make the full utilization of his flat cannon, but still. Meanwhile, 3D Max is going to bet on mid souls, but I don't think, honestly, No Tidehunter would have put the Darkseer in the mid lane. I guess they could do a Darkseer jungle, because Darkseer still one of the fastest junglers, probably with Batrider the fastest jungler, although we have been seeing an uprising in terms of jungle dooms, which is pretty exciting to see, a lot more variation.
10 seconds.
But still, I think in this situation it'll probably be a Darkseer middle, because Darkseer could make decent use of the runes, if not the best rune user. He's not the best rune user, but still gets a lot more farm and a lot of more experience in the mid lane. Meanwhile, No Tidehunter gonna man the Nature's Prophet, so saying 3D Max, what are you gonna do with the long lane? But 3D Max still has a couple options. They could pick up the Bounty Hunter, who isn't really as strong against the Gyrocopter because he doesn't get increased movement speed, and he's a little bit squishier than the Broodmother because he doesn't have that extra bonus regen that the Wibs give him. And of course, Windwalk will get scouted out by the Sentry Wards if they are placed. So, No Tidehunter probably gonna ban out, I guess, Bounty Hunter, the real only long lane soul that makes a lot of sense, if not Clock. But 3D Max, I don't think they'd be ganking very hard if they did pick up a Bounty Hunter, because that lineup seems to be a bit more teamfight oriented. Of course, Shadow Demon is one of the best ganking supports in the game, but Luna really wants to stay in one place, farm up for a bit, and if you want to synergize early game with Luna, you really just want to push with something like Chen. Magnus not really the best ganking mid-solo hero, really just excels in team fights. Of course he can gank, but still. And No Tidehunter get him at the Bane. Interesting decision. I guess they really just don't want to have something like the Darkseer or the No Tidehunter Lone Druid Spirit Bear out of the fight for a good 7 seconds with the Nightmare. And this might also indicate that No Tidehunter might not be picking up too many more stuns. Right now they have the Vacuum that can break Fiend's Grip, they have the Entangle, and they have a Rocket, but still, Rocket very, very crappy. I mean, Bane can pretty much channel his ultimate for at least 3 to 4 seconds before that Rocket actually hits him, so still, that God, Gyrocopter's Rocket is so terrible. But still, I mean, if it was better than Gyrocopter, might be a little bit too powerful. As it is, he's still a good hero right now. And 3D Max banned the Tinker again. I think this could... They just really want to have the Magnus to have as good a mid lane as possible, so they might be forcing Darkseer to go to the mid lane, as No Tidehunter are going to pick up the Naga Siren. I don't know whether this is a carry Naga or even a support Naga just yet, as Eternal Envy does crazy things with typically carry heroes, and Naga Siren functions similar to his Sven, although a bit longer of a casting time, but still has a bit more mana pool and has 2 nukes rather than Sven's 1, or actually just has 1 nuke. But still can set up team fights for the Darkseer. Naga Siren into Vacuum into Call Down into Wall. I'm not too sure if you've seen that YouTube clip of Empire versus some team where they did that perfect Naga Siren ultimate with Darkseer combination and it just wiped out the entire enemy team. It was pretty beautiful to watch, but I don't know. You can check it out on YouTube. I think it's just like YouTube, Empire, Team Fight, Naga, Darkseer. You can search it up. So Naga and Darkseer are still BFFs, but still not too sure whether this will be a support Naga or a carry Naga just yet. Right now, it indicates it'll probably be a carry Naga because Aki known to play that Gyrocopter as a support, and they don't really have their primary carry just yet. But still. Meanwhile, 3D Max picking up Jakiro. Jakiro has definitely fallen off the radar. His path has been receiving so many nerfs, but glad to see him. He's definitely one of the better team fighting supports because that AoE stun and Macro Power in conjunction with Reverse Polarity and Eclipse means that all these people, no matter how much tank they get, they will die, as it's not even going to be a question if this combo gets executed. So it might just be team fight versus team fight, and that probably means a bit of a passive early game, as we're not seeing too many ganks going on. But once we hit the mid game, as team fights become more and more frequent, it'll be very action packed and very, very tense. Meanwhile, still no time to. If I had to guess, they're gonna either pick up their secondary support, maybe something like a disruptor for a team fight, or they're gonna pick up a hard carry. I think they're probably gonna pick up their secondary support and do Naga as a carry, but still, Eternal Envy has weird ideas on how to use heroes as supports. So, yeah. But if I had to make a guess, I guess it would be something like a disruptor as secondary support. Do a farming Naga with Loda. But maybe Loda doesn't like using Naga. I actually haven't seen Loda use the Naga ever. So this is going to be very, very curious to see how this works out, as the reserve time is ticking dangerously low. And looks like they are not quite sure what to choose for either their secondary support or for Loda. And the clock runs down. It's going to be a Windrunner. What a... This is pretty curious. So it's not going to be a Darkseer mid-soul, I'm guessing. It's going to be Lone Druid farming in the safe lane rather than the off lane, but it's still going to be Bulldog playing that. But then who will play Darkseer in the off lane? Well, this is going to be weird. How will No Tidehunter actually lane this? They're going to do dual roam supports like they always do. And Windrunner not the best dual roaming support, so actually probably will be a Naga Siren support, I'm guessing, because Windrunner really doesn't function too well as a roaming support. Shackle Shot only stuns for 1.75 seconds. Power Shot, of course, doesn't really scale that well until you get level 4. So, yeah, if I had to guess, it'll probably be Nagasai and Gyrocopter as roaming supports by Envy and Aki, respectively. And then it's going to be Lone Druid safe lane.
10 seconds remaining.
Windrunner, I guess, mid lane, and Darkseer off lane. That seems to make most sense. Meanwhile, 3D Max is just going to pick up a standard off lane. It's pretty easy to guess what 3D Max's laning is going to be. We all know Tidehunter just made a giant cluster F of a team composition in terms of laning, but still, No Tidehunter, you know, they did win game 1, albeit it was competitive, but I think No Tidehunter did win pretty decisively. So they have a little bit of wiggle room if they want to make it to, I think, 2 or 3-0 in this league right now. Or maybe they lost a match. I can't honestly remember, man. My memory's fading. I've just been casting way too much recently. Yeah, 1 game a day, still going strong. 21st, only 10 more days, guys. But I think I can go beyond that. I could probably do all of February and maybe even to March. Not gonna promise anything, but still, with your guys' help, I'll be able to push through. Feel the burn. You guys love the burn. But yeah, we'll take a look at the teams and the players as I pull down the log, the combat log. And we are going to see Eternal Envy playing the Naga Siren. I'm going to fast forward through this pause a bit, as he does have the ward, so it's going to be support Naga. Oh, crap. It's going to be Aki playing his signature support Gyrocopter. Loda is going to be playing the Darkseer, and this is Loda because his avatar was that weird thing. I think that was like a topless chick, but I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure this is Loda. As I can probably check right now. Sorry if, well, whatever. We'll just say it's Loda, okay? Anyway, Esport is going to be playing the Windrunner, so it's going to be a mid-soul Windrunner. Loda off lane, Admiral Bulldog safe lane. No, it's going to be a primary. So it's going to be Bulldog off lane with Darkseer safe lane, so Darkseer is going to get a lot of farm. I guess they really just want... I guess Loda's not used to safe lane farming. Or offlane farming, so they just want Bulldog to continue in the offlane. Bulldog does practice 100 on a regular basis still, even with teams who constantly banning out that hero.
30 seconds.
Meanwhile, on the side of 30 Max, the Danish team, they are going to have Ace playing the offlane Bounty Hunter. Hayek is going to be playing the Shadow Demon. Buller is going to be playing the Jakiro. It's not Bueller. Bueller. Man, I can't do a good monotone. Hestigil Rotten is playing the Magnus, and Noya is going to be playing the Luna. So, 3D Max, they have a pretty typical lineup. Meanwhile, No Tidehunter just playing all sorts of crazy things with their lineup. As Bounty are going to take a bit of damage, just checking out the wards. Dire going to place a really weirdly placed ward. I don't know what this ward serves. As I guess if a sentry ward's placed, the observer. What's the point of this ward? I'm not too sure. Maybe if a sentry ward's placed here, then I won't be able to see this observer ward. But that's the only logical explanation I can see, as we're going to see Eternally having an Iron Shell on himself. What are they doing? They're cutting off the creep wave mid, and I'm going to do a level 1 tower push, but Envy actually took a significant amount of damage. Nagasiren, 8 base armor at this point. Definitely nothing to be trifled with, as they do have Ring of Basilius turned on, and here comes rotation by 3D Max. As can they cut off the escape? Ice Path is going to fly in, catching Loda, as Riptide is going to be casted. Did not pick up Net at level 1. Hestigil picked up Skewer. He's going to have to find his opportunity to use it, because Bowler is taking a lot of edge, as another tactical pause comes through, as Bowler keeps getting tabbed. Very unfortunate for Bowler. But we're going to see a disruption being casted probably on Eternal Envy. Aki, I think it would probably be better to cast it on Aki, because Rocket Barrage is 7-second cooldown with 10 rockets per second, doing a total of 300 damage at level 1. And this is why Gyrocopter does function quite well as a support, and the fact that he's super fast and 6 armor with that Basilius on. It's going to be so hard to kill these guys, but still. 30 Max do have a bit more range on their side. They have 2 melees and a very short range hero versus 1 melee and 2 ranged heroes, so looks like NTH is going to be forced to retreat. Another Ice Path is going to fly in, very low mana, at 90 mana, but not much damage being pumped out by the Ice Path since the nerfs. And looks like No Tidehunter, unable to make too much happen, did kill off an early creep wave and prevented Magnus from getting early experience, but still. As it's going to be S4 farming against Ace. S4 should have a relatively solid time in this lane. Meanwhile, it's going to be Magnus farming against Envy. Envy, the support player who bought wards in the middle lane. What is this madness concocted by No Tidehunter? As I'm not too sure, honestly, what they're doing. As Ice Path is going to fly in, Skewer is going to bring Envy right back to the tower. Can Envy escape? He's going to take a lot of damage, but no Basilius giving him extra armor, and Envy does end up taking fall. I think if he had the Basilius, he would have been able to survive, but Aki's so fast. 315 base movement speed, as Ice Path going to fly in. Nicely done by Bowler, but still, the tower switched focus a little bit too late. It's going to be 1-for-1, but Envy did give up first blood. Me on the top lane, Bulldog gonna have a reasonably good time against Noya. I think ultimately this laning confusion is just designed, okay, we want Bulldog to get as much farm in the off lane as possible in the laundry, because if he was facing against a typical tri-lane, then he would probably receive no farm, so we just want Bulldog to get going as soon as possible. But it looks like the Unimax have calmed down, doing some pulls, and now Bulldog at least has hit, I imagine, level 3, so he should be a bit safer. Has that level 2 bear to do a bit more harassment and can tank a little bit more, but still won't be able to receive too much free farm. And this spray Dire Ward still scouting out. I don't know, maybe it scouts out here? I'm honestly not sure of that ward positioning. I might be able to check it out in just a second. As looks like it's going to be pretty passive. No, Aki picks up a haste and going to town on Hayek, as the Rocket Barrage 1 silver away from killing off Hayek. As Hayek going to take a bunch of damage. Soul Catcher being casted on Aki. Aki's going to die to the Soul Catcher, but Aki still picked up the experience and the gold. But here comes Noya in on Eternal Envy. Dual roaming supports. No Tidehunter being predicted and being countered. Eternal Envy, can he escape Luna so fast? And already probably has the boots. Eternal Envy never stood a chance. And that means No Tidehunter, they're going to have to settle down and get back to their lanes, because right now this dual roaming strat, I mean, it's cute, but it just really doesn't have too much range support. And really, range is what gives you a lot of physical damage without being kited too heavily. You know, Loda gonna farm from the Darkseer. This is a role that Loda's been well acquainted to, as he did this all the time when he was on Zenith in Singapore. He played Darkseer on the offlane position very, very often. But since then, you know, he's been back to his primary care role on No Tidehunter. And there's going to be a double roam to the top lane. And no support for Animal Bulldog. He's going to get caught out of position as here comes the Soul Catcher. Unfortunately hits the bear as Bulldog does a nice job microing, but Bulldog should end up dying. He does dodge the ice path. Dual breath is going to whiff completely. Bulldog, can he tangle out? Is going to teleport out. Nicely done, blocking the bear as he just managed to escape. This is why Bulldog's Lone Druid is probably one of the best in the world. Definitely one of the best in the Western Hemisphere. Maybe not the world, but very. This is why teams banning against him, as he can survive the off lane better than most, as that was beautifully done. So despite all these shenanigans, we're already seeing some high-level Dota. Has Envy gonna be enough to drive Joe Rotten away? Level 2 Naga versus level 4 Magnus, but still Darkseer in a reasonable position to reinforce, and meanwhile Aki gonna take some of Lotus farm. They really want to push down this middle tower very, very quickly, and Naga Siren again, 8 armor once that Basilius does pop up. Here comes a double entry, and looks like net is gonna be casted. Joe Rotten stretches out that net a little bit, as he already had to use his skewer. Meanwhile, Jakiro is going to rotate in. I'm not too sure if Haya can do anything, or Bowler. Man, 5 minutes, forgot to be able to bring down the last hit stabs. As you can see, S4 having a remarkable time. Actually, Luna not having the best opportunity, or best time against Lone Druid. But keep in mind, he was 1v1 for a while against that Lone Druid. And Lone Druid, especially played by Bulldog, with that double hero and with the increased range over Luna, probably does a bit better than Luna by herself. But now since the trial has been solidified, I imagine Luna will start to get her farm going. I already picked up the Tranquils, we'll see if she goes for the drums. Bounty Hunter could potentially go for the drums, but Bounty Hunter did pick up a bottle. Pretty awkward, or pretty unusual to see Bounty Hunter pick up bottle these days in the offlane. But I think they know the dual roaming supports of No Tidehunter are always going to have one of the rune spots on lockdown. So once the time hits around 6 minutes or 5:40, Bounty Hunter is just going to invis Windwalk and try to get access to that rune. And Magnus already picked up the Bracer, so it might actually be Magnus going for the drums in this situation, as it's going to hit 6 minutes very soon. We'll see a Bounty Hunter rotation, as Bulldog has had his farm slow down significantly after being pressured, after the roaming shenanigans and the cutting off the creep wave start to wear off, as the rune is going to be guessed, but unfortunately it is not top, it is bottom, and it is an invisibility rune, as Bulldog trying to jack a creep from Noya. I don't think he got it, he was still at 12 CS, and Bulldog going to take a bit of damage, but unfortunately Luna is level 6, but I guess she didn't really want to dive. Bulldog didn't have Entangle up just yet, so I think Luna, if she wanted to play super aggressive, did have an opportunity, especially since Bulldog doesn't even have boots. But still, I guess she's going to save the Eclipse for a bit more of a team fight engagement. Not too sure, as there's going to be rotation around by Ace, just going to hide there in the wings of the battle on the outskirts, saying I spy with my little eye. Bulldog getting killed on the top lane, as I just managed to catch that. I guess you can probably guess what happened. Disruptor, Soul Catcher, Lucent Beam, etc. Meanwhile, the tower going to take significant damage, so far NTH is laning shenanigans, not really working out. And considering Loda's not playing a typical carry, he's playing Darkseer, this might be a bit of a mistake for No Tidehunter, as they might have to force Eternal Envy to get a bit of farm. And Eternal Envy doesn't play supports in pubs, so I'm sure he's well acquainted with farming quite a bit, but in a professional game, that's a whole different matter. As Eternal Envy is going to be driven off, and Noya's going to pick up the last hit very easily. So far, 3D Max doing a nice job standing up to No Tidehunter's shenanigans. And keep in mind, No Tidehunter applied a lot of mid lane pressure, but this mid lane still relatively healthy, at least not in deny range just yet. And considering nobody's rotated back and towards that mid lane, we'll see what No Tidehunter decides to do. Will they try to push down that middle tier 1? Or will they have Bulldog just get some farm? As looks like Bulldog gonna go for that Midas later, but still wants to catch up in terms of experience. As I think No Tidehunter might have to be forced to play the long game, which they are very well known to do. They are very adept at turtling, as the rune is guessed top on both sides. And unfortunately, the rune once again is on the bottom lane. And Aki probably going to pick it up himself. Already picks up a dust to try to get a gank going off onto Ace.
Dire's structures are fortified.
S4 gonna rush that fast Orchid, trying to get as much damage as possible. Not only will that give her a lot of mana regen and damage, but that silence, that extra soul burst damage, especially early on when the HP pools are not that high, gonna be very significant in killing off heroes who might just be able to escape without that soul burst burn, as there's gonna be Rocket being flied out by Aki. As Aki went for 1 point in his stats, or might be saving onto that skill point. as S4 should be able to kill this tower unless there's some reinforcement, and that means he's gonna have Orchid up very, very soon. Might even have it up by around the 11-minute mark. 11-minute Orchid against likes of Magnus or Bounty Hunter or Shao Demon at this stage in the game, gonna be so deadly. But here comes the Smoke Gang around Taki. Nicely placed Ice Path, catching out Envy as well. Will they go on Envy? Oh, Joe Rotten whiffs the reverse. I thought he might have stopped canceled it, but no, he did end up whiffing it completely. Unfortunate for them, but still, 3D Max getting a kill advantage at this point in the game. Doing a solid job. Unfortunately, they devoted 4 heroes to that gank, only got 1 kill, and that means No Tidehunter got a tower. So overall, I think it was probably an even exchange. If not, maybe even slightly in favor of No Tidehunter, since S4 will have that Orchid up very, very soon, and 3D Max did devote 4 heroes to that gank. And all they got was the support gyrocopter. It's like visited TI3 and all I got was this shitty t-shirt. Yeah. Oh man. I have all of these clever things in my mind that I'm going to say and then just sort of fizzle out in the very, very decisive fashion saying, "What are you doing, Bivon? That's probably the most stupid thing you've ever said." But still, I manage to one-up myself every time I cast a game, always saying something more and more stupid. As Aki just used the Rocket Barrage. He had full mana, so just gonna use that to clear some creeps without having to worry about going for last hits. But Aki is tracked up, gonna reveal Loda there. Loda gonna go for that fast mecha again. It's pretty weird to see Loda playing, he is playing probably the primary farmer, or S4 is the primary farmer in this game, but reverting back to sort of his Zenith role, playing a Darkseer and not playing the primary farmer as he's done so often with No Tidehunter. Ice Path gonna fly in, but this tower is gonna die. Gyrocopter does pick up the last hit. Soul Catcher and Disruption gonna be dropped. Load does speed away. Joran gonna screw away to safety. Called out, doing a lot of damage. The power of Gyrocopter in full force. Will No Time to turn back around. Joran did already use the skewer, so he's gonna be a lot of trouble. Beautiful shackle shot by S4, who arrived just in time to reinforce, and Bowler is gonna die as well. So No Tidehunter, I was about to say, might not be taking this game super seriously, having Loda play a Darkseer, but still. They're doing a nice job recovering, and they're gonna apply a lot of pressure to the middle tier 2 tower. I don't know if they can kill it because Magnus will have reverse up when he can respawn. And I don't know if No Time to do have the requisite physical damage to really kill down that tower. And meanwhile, Envy really struggling, only level 4 at this point. Meanwhile, Bulldog forced to farm in the jungle, gonna have that Midas up, but all the while Luna finally able to catch up in terms of the farm. Still 15 CS behind the Windrunner, and actually went for the Midas herself. Gonna amplify her experience gain by quite a bit. Unfortunately, she already ate the big creep, so didn't get nearly as much experience by eating that smaller creep, but did get overall a bit of an economic gold boost. But yeah, maybe No Time to sort of practicing to see like, okay, if one of our people had to stand, we'll see if Loda can adapt in different roles. Or maybe they just felt like, okay, Bulldog he's our offlane player and he's our best lone druid, so we're just gonna have him play the offlane in the lone druid. I'm not too sure. But No Time to recovering a little bit, still behind in terms of kills. We'll check out the early game experience graph. Slightly in favor of the Radiant, since Bulldog is taken to the jungle. Meanwhile, gold graph slightly in favor of the Radiant as well, because they have 2 towers where 3D Max only has 1. Meanwhile, Ace, only 1 kill so far. Again, the problem with the Bounty Hunter is that he doesn't really like to farm, and really 3D Max, I think, only picked up the Bounty Hunter so they could say, alright, we have an offlane solo, guys. As, again, No Time to, if you remember their bans, they banned out Brood, and they banned out other offlane heroes to really just force this Bounty Hunter pick. And again, if No Time to just play their cards right, Bounty Hunter really can't get too much track kills going, and we'll just have to rely on teamfights as the Orchid is popped. A little bit of poor timing, but still gonna be enough to really kill down Ace super fast. I was saying a little bit of poor timing because Shackle Shot was still on for a decent amount of duration before that Orchid could be popped. But here comes the gank attempt on Loda. Loda will be able to escape very easily. Luna gonna wrap back around this. Here comes the Ice Path. Were they using Eclipse right now? I don't know if they can kill Loda. Oh, they are gonna kill Loda. One more hit is gonna be enough to kill off Loda with the help of Jakiro. I was wondering why Luna was waiting so long for the Eclipse, was waiting for that Jakiro, because Loda does have the potential to just surge out of there. But I was also wondering, alright, maybe Luna's waiting for that level 11, because even 3 beams might not be enough to kill off Loda in that engagement. So 5 to 6, Envy, have you finally hit level 6? Not just yet. I think it might be time for No Tidehunter to just let Envy get some levels, as he's having a really difficult time in this game. No, keep in mind Nagasaran has pretty respectable strength growth, high base armor, can definitely sort of stand in the midst of everything and at least cast one Riptide in one net before she dies. But again, the Song of the Siren in conjunction with the Darkseer, I mean, only able to vacuum up, but still, they want to have that, especially if they gank Bulldog, who's pretty much their only hope for the late game. Meanwhile, Bulldog, I imagine, gonna go for the Maelstrom build. Again, picked up the Midas. Anything on the courier for you? No, just has very low gold at this point. Constantly scouting out the team with his bear, staying in the true form as well, so he has a lot of armor and a lot of HP, and really it'll be difficult for 3D Max to kill them unless Shadow Demon comes in with that Soul Catcher once Eclipse is on cooldown.
Dire's structures are fortified.
You know,
Radiant's bottom tower.
I don't know if 3D Max honestly have a solid game plan. I guess they're just going to let Luna farm up as much as possible. But No Tidehunter really taking advantage of these lapses in judgment. No, they're going to kill off Bulldog, but Bulldog doing a nice job retreating, as I'm not too sure what the Spare Bear is doing. It's just going to try to pull the creeps. Look at Bulldog murdering this bear like a champ. Still won't be enough to defend this tier 1 tower. No, there is going to be teleport in by Aki. As no, that is actually Envy, as he's going to get shockwaves and frozen right to the ground. After the top tier 1 tower did end up dying, here comes Bulldog on the offensive, but 3D Max doing a nice job splitting off. Envy taking another shockwave right to the face. Gonna use Song of the Siren, gonna catch off Bowler. Song of the Siren AoE so massive, even gonna hit the Magnus as the tactical pause is gonna come in. Well, that sucks. I'm not too sure what that means, Envy, but I guess it sucks. As, I don't know, was that actually a Radiant Ward? Can't see because Jakiro is pretty fat. But I imagine it was because it did manage to catch off Jakiro. But still, I guess he hovered his icon right over the Song of the Siren thing, as Bulldog disconnected. And Bulldog, with that disconnect, is actually going to be very far from the battle, so that's going to be very unfortunate. And Ace probably won't be able to kill off Bulldog once he reconnects, but still, Bulldog wants to be in the midst of everything, trying to get entangles off and try to do as much damage as possible. But yeah, Envy said that sucks because that disconnect means that Bulldog was probably traveling in towards the direction of the team fight. Because of the disconnect feature, automatically traveling away back to the fountain. Which is cool in pubs, but a little bit inconvenient in the pro scene. Meanwhile, Luna finished a complete BKB. She's really picked up the farm, 90 CS. Not the best at 1530, but not the worst either, as Winner are doing a nice job. Finished the Orchid again. Wonder what she's going to go for next. Hopefully it's not 4-step, because right now she's farming definitely the best. And 4-step, all well and good. Actually, it probably is going to be 4-step, because they really want a 4-step in this game. Especially against Shouty and Magnus, but still. When a Winner receives this much farm, not really the biggest fan of getting too many utility items, but there's a reason why utility items are so popular. They're just that damn good. Again, Goldgraph heavily favored No Tidehunter. They have 3 towers compared to the 3D Max's 1. Experience advantage. Gonna be slightly in favor of No Tidehunter, as well as Bulldog finally does reconnect. But he's still gonna be very far away from the team fight. Wait, Skype is the call by Envy. Envy already pretty low into his HP. S4 is going to catch up relatively fast. Hayek is just out of the range of that Song of the Siren, so he might be able to get a defensive disruption onto Bowler. Keep him on level 1 Song of the Siren, 180-second cooldown, so it'll be 3 minutes. So at 1830, then No Tidehunter might be able to take another team fight if they don't go for all-out ganks again. They really want that Song of the Siren up, as Go-Go is the call. And here comes the immediate unpause. We'll see if Bowler's just going to die in a burst of fire and flames, or maybe a burst of ice and flames. As the Dragon Force never had a more appropriate turn, as here comes a slow motion gank, as Bowler does end up dying. Nicely done by S4, trying to catch off any other heroes because he knew that Bowler was already pretty much dead. But still, 3-minute long cooldown ultimate used to just kill off a support Jakiro. As there's the sheep. So cute. Actually, he's kind of sinister. I wouldn't be caught in the dark alley with that sheep. But still, 3-minute long cooldown for just to support Jakiro. Not too sure if it's worth it, but still. Any kill is a good kill, especially when the game seems like it'll be a bit of a slower paced game. Especially with Bulldog very, very far away from any significant items. As S4, again, not too sure what he's going to go for. They are going to use a Purge on him. Windrunner going to be cast, but keep in mind, unable to really get the maximum damage because he was already Purged and he's going to end up dying very, very quickly. Jakiro's Revenge Part 1, the Icing. Means that Jakiro kills off Windrunner super easily, as this ward, I guess not enough to see the incoming gank. Keep in mind, shouting range of that Purge pretty long. I think it's 650 or 700, really long range. As S4 did end up dying, and that's a lot of farm and a lot of time where S4 is going to be dead. And looks like S4 just going to go straight up for BK, so we're going to see a DPS Windrunner. Really, really awesome, as we don't see that ever these days. Meanwhile, the bear going to scout out the positioning, saying, "Oh, look, Roshan, you should just try to, try to kill the bear." But they're not even going to pay any attention. They know Envy's ultimate is on cooldown on S4. The primary farmer is going to be dead for a bit, and Envy really can't do anything. As Iron Shell Bear going to come in, try to do as much damage as possible. Can they get the Aegis Steel doing a significant damage? As where is the Aegis? Luna does pick it up. Meanwhile, Envy is going to get disrupted right in place. Here comes Bulldog. As Ace is under significant duress, he's going to die to the Riptide and the Dust. As the Ion Shelled Bear doing so much work. Darkseer did manage to kill off Joe Rot and the Magnus, as Buller going to take an Orb Venom and a net right to the face. This is going to be a very costly Aegis taken by 3D Max. They lose 3 heroes. At least they didn't, well, they lost the Magnus and the Bounty Hunter. I was about to say they didn't lose any significant heroes, but no, they lost their secondary and tertiary heroes in that game in terms of farm. Only Luna survived, but at least Luna did not use any BKB charges. Alright, she's just going to go back to happily farming it up. And in terms of late game, I think Luna does pretty okay against the likes of Laundry, Darkseer, and Nagasiren, who is supporting this game. Keep in mind, Darkseer, with that wall, the illusions that he does create, the Luna illusions do have those bouncing glaives as a huge stack that was meant for Luna, going to be cleared by No Tidehunter. They're definitely going to love this. Probably about 1 to 1.5k gold worth going to all the team members and mostly to Admiral Bulldog, as he's definitely going to enjoy that after having his farm significantly drained. But here comes the reinforcing ganks. Ace is going to get a track off, going to purge off Aki. Not sure if that's best target, as Envy going to be able to cast that Song of Siren just off of cooldown. 15 minutes, 30 seconds was the last time it came, or was casted, but now going to cast it again. Going to waste that smoke duration, and that's super unfortunate for 3D Max, as Luna tried to come in. But No Tidehunter able to kill that massive creep stack and get out with no casualties. Definitely a benefit, and even forced to smoke to the seat by 3D Max. But no, S4, you're gonna die again. The primary farmer gonna be out of position once again. He is gonna die super fast, super furious, as the range of Luna and the increased night vision definitely gonna help them out. But the Ion Shell Bear just super annoying to deal with. That Aces might just end up dying just to the bear. One more entangle might just mean Ace's death, as S4 is going to buy back. Here comes the Skewer into reverse. Aki is going to be under a lot of duress. He's going to die. Bulldog is going to die as well. A Shackle Shot and a Vacuum Wall of Illusion is going to be cast. Can Luna do enough damage? She does have the BKB and the Aegis, and that might just force No Tidehunter to retreat, but so far Shouting dies. Shouting is going to buy back. Buller dies. Can Luna man up or woman up with that Panther? Lotus so very low in terms of HP, as here comes a call down right back onto the Luna. She's just going to run out. She's just too fast. They use the Aegis, and I think that engagement did favor 3D Max, because they forced a couple buybacks by No Tidehunter, and they killed Bulldog. S4 died at the beginning in this situation, bought back, able to get a nice Shackle Shot. Loda did a lot of work with that Vacuum Wall, but still I think 3D Max overall pretty happy with that engagement, because neither the Bounty Hunter nor the Magnus died, and I think Jakiro died and bought back. Shao Demon died and bought back. Not too sure what Jakiro did. And Aki bought back. So 2 buybacks to just 1 at 3D Max, and Luna only lost to Aegis. Definitely a good fight for 3D Max, and I think we're starting to see a bit of the farm discrepancy. But keep in mind, S4 was not in that fight for a significant portion of that time. But still, S4 losing a lot of gold, going to be very far away from finishing that BKB. whereas Luna can make her way to her biggest item. It's probably going to be that Manta style, and it is going to be up in about, I don't know, probably about 1500 gold. You know, Joran, far away from that dagger is going to be another smoke attempt by 3D Max. They really just want to get some ganks and pressure going. I think that what they really want to accomplish with these smoke ganks is that they really want to get a tower push going and get some map control. As Luna, vacuum was used, as here comes Shadow Demon. Loosen Beam is going to be used, and here comes the disruption. Can they get it? Here comes Scourge. Ice Path going to drag Loda backwards. Loda is going to die, as Loda being dead going to be very big detriment, but a beautiful shackle shot holding Noya in place. As is there a mechanism on the side of 3D Max? I'm not too sure. I don't think there is, as Noya very low in terms of HP, but the Loosen Beam going to catch out Bulldog, as here comes the blink in. Song of Siren just going to be the ultimate buzzkill. Boo goes the crowd, if there was a crowd. Listen to that video, crowd. They hate you.
Radiant's middle tower.
If you guys get that reference, then you guys are bosses and not like Luminous, who doesn't watch any American television whatsoever. But S4 gonna slow down the assault, but that is gonna buy a lot of time for Low to get back in the picture. But still, the reverse was casted. Bulldog is gonna get absolutely decimated. S4 is under a lot of pressure. He might just die, as well 3D Max going to turn this fight around just on the back of their better farmed carries, as Envy is gonna die. I don't know if No Tidehunter should have stuck around to try to defend it after Song was already used, because a lot of the defense mechanisms are already used, and Loda was dead already. But again, S4 losing so much money in all of these engagements. Bulldog losing a lot of money as well, as he is definitely going to suffer. And of course, the ultimate disaster for any carry player when you're dead and your Midas is on cooldown. Everybody laments that, as people even toy with the idea of buying back just so they can use that Midas, because every carry hates having that Midas on cooldown when they're dead.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And you'd be too. Pretty much almost a tower's worth of gold for that Midas usage. But now, the gold graph going to start spiking back towards 3D Max, as 3D Max really turned this game back around purely on the back of Luna for the most part, and Shadow Demon. Again, Shadow Demon proving himself to be so viable. The fact that Disruption and Purge have such a solid casting range, as Disruption I think 600 and Purge 650. Not too sure on the ultimate ranges. And the fact that these ganks can just tap in so frequently. Purge very low cooldown, Disruption 24-second cooldown. As there's a reason why we don't see max Disruption or max Shadow Poison anymore. The rate of ganks are just so much slower these days that you can really withstand a lot of the, or you can really stand to use a lot of the Shadow Poisons in comparisons to the Disruptions. As that is going to give Magnus's dagger. I guess he already had it, it was just on the courier, and I just failed to notice that. I think Magnus did manage to blink in with that reverse. Meanwhile, Bulldog and S4 are going to be severely underfarmed. Bulldog is going to have enough to finish that Maelstrom, but still a 24-minute Maelstrom. Actually, it's not even a finished Maelstrom just yet. Very, very shocking, as Bulldog's definitely been under a lot of pressure, as that Centaur just able to escape the wrath of No Tidehunter. As they say, we may be No Tidehunter, but we still can use tides, and our tides will not be hunted.
Middle tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, Noya Manta Illusions might be enough. Gonna be enough to kill the tower. Nicely done. Microing it, and a little bit of mistime by Bulldog means a free tower for minimal risk, or actually zero risk for 3D Max. The only risk was if that tower was denied, but no, that tower not denied, and Luna gonna be well on her way to her next big item, gonna be that Helmet Dominator. And with those two towers and the middle tier 1 tower, means that 3D Max is going to have a relatively easy time in terms of taking the Roshan. Now, I always say Darks are king of the Roshan engagements, but they have a Magnus. Magnus definitely benefits from these clumped up engagements. And Bounty Hunter, after having a miserable start, managed to finish a full-on BKB. The power of track is coming in, as he is definitely benefiting. If we look at the tower count, it's actually in favor of 3D Max. They have a tower advantage to No Tidehunter, and this might be time for No Tidehunter to just say, alright, take a step back, try to get some farm going. Aki, finish the drums. Aki actually making a lot of money. What are you saving for? But 3D Max is definitely feeling very, very good about themselves. I think they've only used they used 2 BKB usages, but still 0 deaths on that Luna. Definitely very, very worth it. As that Sentry Ward going to be placed. Not going to kill it, because that would reveal the fact that they were smoked. Going to try to catch off Loda. Loda is going to retreat. Still struggling. Did finish the mechanism. Gonna have the pipe up relatively soon once he picks up that ring of health. He will have that pipe of insight. That's definitely going to help the macro pyre, the eclipse, the reverse polarity damage. But still, Luna's doing immense physical damage at this point as Bounty does manage to pick off Windrunner. S4 just really caught out of position very, very frequently. 4 times since the mid-game. And that means BKB going to be slowed down by a significant amount, but the Dire Courier did end up dying as Bulldog going to morph, probably just hit, or I guess he just leveled up that level 2 of the bear form, or maybe just got a bit of healing so you can heal back up to full HP. Always do that when you're a bit low. You just transform back to your range form, heal up, and then transform back to your true form so you overall get a bigger percent HP increase. 3D Max, I think they're trying to push in, try to gain some Roshan control. No Tidehunter definitely wrote down the Aegis timer. They know the Aegis is going to be up in about 30 seconds. And the question is, what can they do about it? I think they were probably waiting for S4 to pick up the BKB. But again, that's going to be very far away. Definitely won't be enough for the next Roshan engagement. Will Dota even have the pipe up? He will have the pipe up for the next Roshan engagement, probably. If he can get 150 more gold. So that will help them. And they do have level 2 wall, which will hurt if the glaives do bounce from the Luna. But 3D Max is just going to camp out the Roshan and look at the wards being placed by the Dire. Have centaurs all over the place trying to catch off smokes from this direction. Wards from this direction, smokes from this direction. 3D Max is super paranoid, but you gotta be paranoid if you're playing Dota. As that Helm of the Dominator definitely going to help 3D Max spy out the incoming heroes. As 3D Max is going to be spied out, they're going to retreat, knowing that they don't want to take it, but Ace does pick off S4 yet again. How are they able to kill off S4 so many times? I might just rewind just to see how that happened. Because guess what? This is a replay cast and I can do what I want. Well, that didn't solve anything. Alright, 1 minute. Fast forward. That's slow motion. So, we're gonna see Windrunner going, la-di-da. Where are you, Windrunner? You're still dead. You just revived. All you want to do is finish your BKB. La-di-da. Why do you hate gingers so? All these haters. Don't they know gingers are the superior race? As S4 gonna get tracked up. Joe Ron lurking in the woodwork. As S4 gonna get shuriken tossed. S4 gonna pop Windrunner already. And that's gonna... Oh, they blew a reverse on her. Wow. So that might actually be worth it for... That might actually be worth it for No Tidehunter, because the reverse isn't gonna be on cooldown. But I guess they want the shackle shot in as well. But still, reverse is on cooldown. S4 probably signaling, alright guys, reverse is on cooldown, you can probably go in. This might be the opportunity. They have Darkseer and cooldown with the Song and Siren setup. I think No Tidehunter, if they really want to take this fight, they potentially could. As the track is going to reveal the positioning, Roshan below half HP. Purge is going to be casted on Envy, going to get screwed back in. Can she cast a Song? Did cast a Song, but she did die. And that means that 3D Max have free roam as Surge is going to be baited out. Cooldown is going to be used as well. Loda is going to get slowed down, going to get tracked as well. Loda is going to die. Can the bear escape? That's the real question. Nice vacuum by Loda, but going to get Ice Path and going to get absolutely obliterated. As, man. No Tidehunter, I don't think they were able to make up their mind if they want to really contest that. They're like, okay, reverse is on cooldown, but we're a little bit behind. We really want S4, who has 180 CS, to really be in there. As S4, definitely one of the breakout stars of 2012. Not really having the best game so far today. Or this game. Maybe you had a solid game 1, not too sure. But 3D Max picks up yet another Aegis, and they're going to have that curry up relatively soon to ferry a big item towards Luna. We'll see if she goes for Satanic or maybe just sells the Midas go for Butterfly. Probably wants to hold on to that Midas still, because she still only has 4 slots so far. And 3D Max, you know, they know everybody's up. They don't have reverse up. They're not really into pushing at this moment. Meanwhile, Aki gonna farm up, has a Demon Edge, banking on additional gold. Is this... I don't think it's gonna be Daedalus. I think this might be a Desperation Rapier by No Tidehunter saying, alright, we're pretty far behind, and we really need this Rapier in order to get back it, but still, a support Gyrocopter. Aki, very competent player. Played support all his life, but I'm sure he knows how to play carry, as he is probably gonna try to carry his team to victory, the standard Waka build. as it's going to be drums into rapier. But the walking build is drums BKB rapier. God. Aki, you're doing it wrong, my friend. Meanwhile, what will No Tidehunter do? S4 is still... Oh my god, he's been working on that BKB for like 5 hours now. Goal graph? You guys can read. You guys have eyes. If you don't have eyes, then I apologize. But if you didn't have eyes, then I'm sure you could find people with better voices than mine to commentate this game. As the goal graph's dipping to around 6k, experience graph 4k definitely can be overcome. But considering that Luna's probably 2 or 3 items ahead of Bulldog, who has finished the Maelstrom, gonna go back into Basher. Gonna have that Basher up relatively soon. Hopefully he can get some lucky entangles and bashes that might give No Tidehunter the spark. Of course, the Rapier definitely give No Tidehunter a spark. The question is whether it's sort of a nice spark that ignites a fire or a spark that creates a giant explosion that blows up in your face. As I'm not too sure if Aki actually revealed that Demon Edge. Aegis already used around 2 minutes, still have around 4 minutes left on that Aegis timer. Looking for Naya, who did sell the Tranquil Boots. And gonna pick up the Boots of Travel. I think she's gonna buy Satanic right now. No, Smoke Deceit for the Shadow Demon Hayek. 4 staff. Oh man, gotta check out the net worth. Holy crap, Shadow Demon 2 places ahead of the bomb net worth. Man, 2 games in a row. Shadow Demon not the lowest net worth. Are we really watching Dota 2, guys? Shadow Demon always at the lowest in terms of net worth. But now he's like, I'm king, bitches. As the next step is obviously carry Shadow Demon. Actually, I think mid lane Shadow Demon is a bit underrated. I think he does pretty well against Bat because he has ridiculous range and he has disruption for the Bat Rider dives. But still, that's another story entirely. As Shadow Demon's still too good of a support to really sacrifice as a mid solo when you can pick up other mid solo heroes that can do the job very well. But the 4-step disruption track gonna go on to Bulldog. He's gonna dodge the ice path, but still the purge is gonna wait it out. As here comes the Song of the Siren. Ace already uses BKB, but still trapped in the net. Nice identification by Envy, as that gonna mean Bulldog will escape successfully. And the BKB was used by Ace. That was his 10-second usage, but still Bounty Hunter the off carry in this game. Gonna go for his own Demon Edge, probably for an MKB, not for a Rapier, I imagine. Not too sure, as I think this is gonna be a Rapier by Aki, guys, as he definitely revealed his Demon Edge. But still, 3D Max might be deciding, alright, is he going for Daedalus? And he's not really gonna crit for much. He'll crit for all of like 300 damage if he gets a crit proc with the Daedalus. But still, Aki saying, ha ha ha. Gonna be much more sinister. S4 finally finished the BKB. Man, S4 200 CS only Orchid BKB. He's just been dying too much in the mid game, as you know, every player can have a bad game, and S4 has had so many good games that you can sort of you can let him, cut him some slack. Can't you guys? Yeah, you guys can. As Luna gonna go to town this tower. She did end up going for the butterfly rather than the Satanic. I like this choice. Doesn't really need Satanic at this point, not really under too much threat, especially with the Aegis. But the Aegis is gonna time out pretty soon and Luna won't have buyback. And Aki's tracked, constantly being tracked up. And look at the courier hiding in the shadows. Look at that sheep. Has there ever been a more sinister sheep? I can't honestly say it for sure, as he's just hiding until Aki can pick up that rapier. But still, will the evil forces of the Dire end the life of that sheep? As I guess this is sort of an anti-hero sheep. Man, just being racist, you know, not all dark sheeps have to be evil. Baba black sheep, have you any rapiers,
tower has fallen.
And Aki gonna pick up that relic in time for the push. The Aegis gonna time out relatively soon, as the courier gonna fly in with an MKB finish for the Bounty Hunter. And I think the Aegis does time out, so the Maya's gonna go back for the Luna. And now, where is Aki? He's just staying the heck back, saying, no, only have that Demon Edge, guys. Might have a Daedalus, but, it's just a Daedalus.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
As a Sentry Ward and Observer Ward trying to scout out any shenanigans, Smoke Deceit is going to be used, but the bear didn't end up being smoked. I don't know if the Dire did see the smoke. I don't know if they care if they saw the smoke. As Sentry Ward will spot out Ace if he reveals himself. I think they already do see Ace, as this is a very weird smoke attempt. Jakiro gonna freeze that bear in place. They're gonna lose the bear. I think it's off cooldown. He's gonna resummon it very soon. He's gonna resummon it right now. Track is gonna go on to Bowler. As here comes the Song of Sign Eclipse is gonna be casted. Here comes Aki back in the middle of everything, doing immense amounts of damage, saying, "What's up, bitches? I got a rapier. What are you gonna do about it? Song of Sign gonna be used. Here comes call down, and the wall. Aki picks up a kill, as he's saying, "This is my true role. Loda, you ain't got nothing on me." As Windrunner dies as well, and now Luna does have the buyback. Managed to farm up enough gold, so she can buy it back, but it's gonna get missiled right in the face. Eventually. Where's the missile? Oh man, if she can make it back. Ice Path gonna freeze Bulldog. Oh my god, that missile. Oh, the bash! The bash! Luna manning up, as only a woman can. Unfortunately, did end up dying, and the Aki Rapier gonna turn this game back around. And 3 Max just be like, really? Rapier? As Luna's gonna have to buy back, otherwise the Rax are gonna die. Probably gonna wait for the Magnus to respawn. Magnus still has reverse. Gonna be working his way to that. And Luna buys back. Don't know actually if No Tidehunter would have pushed in, so it might have been a bit of a waste of gold. But, better safe than sorry. But still, that buyback cooldown gonna be on the timer for about 5 minutes. If Luna ends up dying, that could be the game for No Tidehunter after being a significant deficit. Holy smokes, really? Is this game really happening? Aki saying, Loda, you ain't got nothing on me. This gold graph still around 6k, definitely. Not like League of Legends. 6k, pretty much nothing in the late games of Dota. As 3 Max Imagine just gonna play super safe. And they're trying to get their wards up. Might be time for the Radiant to pick up a gem just to counter ward a bit. As Aki gonna go for that BKB next, going the Waga build. We all support Naga. New meta. And Lone Druid picked up the Vlad's, gonna amplify Aki's DPS and give his Baron a nice bit of lifesteal. Darkseer already has a gem, so a lot of the die wards, I was wondering why there weren't many die wards on the map. Loda has a gem, that's why. So able to counter a lot of the Dire Vision, and Dire playing super scared. They're like, oh man, we fought so well, we're gonna lose to an Aki Rapier, and I'm not too sure honestly he's ahead, because Luna already used a lot of her BKB charges. And if Aki picks up a BKB, he's gonna have a lot of BKB juice, but still. I think my money's still on the team with the reverse. And keep in mind, if Aki dies, that's gonna be a Rapier for Luna. And that's gonna mean the game, pretty much for NTH. As this is a pretty desperation move, but still. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and looks like the No Tidehunter guys are gonna smoke up. Bear gonna charge forward, gonna hit Noya. Will they initiate onto Noya? No buyback on Noya. Track going on. No, but that was Medallion. My bad. As Noya's gonna pop the BKB, gonna be isolated. Nicely placed song by Envy. As can Noya escape? No, the BKB timer just too short. Envy unfortunately didn't dispel. Here comes Ice Fast called out. Aki, where is Aki? Where is Aki? There is Aki. Gonna take significant damage from the barrier who is hunting Aki as if his life depended on it, because it does. But Aki does end up falling. Where's the Rapier? Where's the Rapier? Where is the Rapier? Bulldog has it on his hero. Nicely done, because it was on the bear. They could just focus on the bear. And it's going to be a 2-for-2 engagement. 3-for-3 engagement, as both of the primary carries did end up dying. But Bulldog's still there, telling the tales, saying, why do I not have 300 damage on my hero? Huh. Drops on death. Divine Rapier is muted to anyone but the owner. Oh, the enemy team has to pick up the Rapier. I see. The enemy team has to pick up the Rapier before it becomes unmuted, and then everybody gets bonus damage boost. But Bulldog can't drop the Rapier. No, he can still drop it because it's unmuted. so he can give it back to Aki, and he does. So Aki is just like, alright, I got a rapier, guys. As I'm a little bit curious about Divine Rapier mechanics. Usually, when a rapier is picked up, it's picked up by the enemy team, and then the enemy or the allied team kills the enemy person who has a rapier, and then it's just unmuted. But now, Aki's just gonna be very happy. And keep in mind, Aki took that fight with that BKB, but Bounty Hunter doing a nice job focusing. Nicely done by Ace. As you can see, the Empower doing significant burst damage, and Luna's getting pretty baited with these BKB usages. Still 2400 gold in the bank. Gonna use that Midas and then try to work her way to Satanic, but probably gonna save it for buyback first. Buyback is up in 1 minute for Luna, so probably just gonna save up. But it's a pretty even game at this point. I think it's still slightly in the Dire's favor until Aki picks up that BKB, but still Magnus not caught in the best positions as the vacuum by Loda doing a nice job, and I think S4 always silencing the Magnus, and S4 doing a really solid job in terms of doing that. But still, Magnus has to do a better job. If Magnus positions himself properly, then the reverse will pretty much just end the lives of the Radiant. And here comes Smoke Deceit. Will there be initiation? Shall keep in mind has ridiculously longer initiation range, but Smoke is going to be popped by No Tidehunter, and Envy's like, oh guys, get the heck out. S4 is going to be one-man reversed with the BKB on. Here comes the Song and Sign, but that means Luna and the Dire side gonna have those BKB usages as Aki does finish the BKB. Ace is gonna get absolutely melted as Bulldog's gonna go to work. Noya is gonna die as well. Will NTH pull off the improbable comeback, getting a 3-0 in that engagement? They're gonna get a 4-0. No Tidehunter seems like they're pulling ahead. Oh my god. And Luna gonna have that buyback up. That's gonna be an Aegis for Aki. As I really think just using a reverse just on S4. Come on, Joran. I've seen you play a fantastic Batrider, but your Magnus not doing that well so far. And this might mean probably going to be middle racks at the very least. Luna clearly does not want to buy back, and it probably wouldn't be worth buying back until reverse is back up. But this is going to be in middle barracks, and maybe even bottom barracks. Can't kill the top because that top tier 2 is still waiting around. Glyph is going to be used, going to delay a lot of the oncoming damage, but still, Aki's just like, why haven't I been playing hard carry all my life? I am the best. And nobody can deny that. He is, in fact, the best. Ice Path gonna fly in. Luna gonna finally do a buyback, as I imagine reverse is gonna be up relatively soon. 15 seconds. They're gonna lose their bottom barracks as well. Not too sure if that was honestly worth the buyback by Luna. Ice Path gonna freeze Bulldog and Aki in place, but they should be just fine. Ace gonna be on the offensive, trying to catch off S4, who already used Wind Run, and Aki forced to use the BKB. This might be the time for 3 Max to strike. They have reverse up. Magnus gonna get a huge 4-man reverse. Holy crap! Skewer gonna skewer back everybody, and oh man, if they lose just on the back of the reverse, Ice Path gonna fly, and that's gonna stun Aki in place for a good amount of time. They just gotta kill Aki. They just gotta kill Aki. They kill Aki. Holy smokes! S4 back on the offensive. As where is the rapier? Where is the rapier? Darkseer gonna buy back. Oh, S4 is gonna die. And where is the rapier indeed? It's right there. And that was probably all LOLs in the team chat of one of these teams. And man, they're just gonna say, we'll just leave that rapier right there. Holy smokes. Keep in mind, game's still very much in No Tidehunter's favor. They have racks and a half, and 3 to max not doing anything. Not killing creeps, they're just sort of standing around in disbelief. As where'd the rapier go? Bounty Hunter does have the rapier. Still 6 seconds on the BKB. And man, Envy usually so good. If you've ever watched Eternal Envy stream, he always writes down the ultimates. I'm sure he wrote down the ultimate. Alright, Magnus' ultimate is back. But unfortunately, the natural clumping that this round provides led to the perfect storm of reverse polarity. And this is why reverse polarity, probably the best skill in the game. But still, Radiant's still very much in this. Aki, unfortunately, lost a lot of his DPS. Gonna go for MKB. Interesting choice. Probably anticipating. Well, Luna does have the butterfly. Experience Craft gonna take a sharp dip. And Dire actually have experience advantage because of the track, or gold advantage because of the track and the team fight. And I have a feeling the next team fight will be the last in this game. Aki gonna go all out, not saving for buyback. Knows that if you were to buy back without any damage, he'd pretty much just be, you know, a little copter thing. Bulldog gonna finally resummon his bear. Has the basher gonna go for the AC. Smoke to see is gonna be used, but the reverse is back online. Does he have refresher up? No, he went for BKB. I like this choice a lot rather than going for the stand because they know S4 doing a constant vigilant job on silencing the Magnus. So now with the BKB being used, no longer really have that option as No Tidehunter know that that is actually an illusion because the smoke did not get dispelled. And Luna gonna stay super far back as here comes the fireworks, here comes the dynamite. If the bear dies, that's a lot of gold right in the bank, and the Bulldog won't have access to that bear. Aki gonna get Listen Beam, has that track movement speed, essentially going at 522 MS for the most part. Gonna get slowed down significantly by it, but S4 forced to pop the BKB, gonna use track as well onto S4, as Magnus not gonna use the reverse, gonna seal the death of S4. Bulldog on the retreat as well, Song and Siren is forced to be used. Everybody should just get the heck out of there for NTH as S4. Gonna be missing that engagement as his Orchid. Well, not really as big a factor now that Magus BKB. But still, it's pretty much up to the wall now. Didn't go for Aghanims, went for Pipe, Ghost Scepter. Smart items against Luna and against the Bounty Hunter. But still, Aga, Darkseer, just so good. But 3Max unfortunately can't do too much with it. Their mid lane was getting pushed, their bottom lane was getting pushed. Forced to back up for the time being, but now I think No Tidehunter in a pretty decent... I think it's even to slightly advantage of 3Max just because Aki was forced to get a Desperation Rapier just to even up the score, but now since he went that, I didn't get any other items. Ace gonna get netted right into the ground, gonna pop a Sentry Ward. If they kill Ace, that might be the spark that they need to get themselves back in the game. Ace, oh, I guess Song of Siren's not online just yet. Ace gonna go to town on Aki. Aki's gonna take significant damage, and here comes the blink in. Magnetar doing the reverse, does manage to kill one hero. Loda trying to do whatever he can, could not get the wall off. Loda saving that wall for all he is worth. He doesn't have buyback. Why did he wait so long to use the wall, or didn't even use the wall in that case? I guess he never found a proper opportunity because 3Max were just spread out over the place, and this just might be the death knell for No Tidehunter in this game. As a 4-staff Bounty Hunter with a heart and a BKB and an MKB. Oh my god. Skewer back onto S4. S4 dies to a solid, 1500 crit. Because Bounty Hunter will do that with Janata and Rapier and everything. And I think that is going to mean No Tidehunter will lose this matchup after putting up such a good fight, but I think the early game just really didn't work out in favor of No Tidehunter. And I think the fact that Bulldog and S4 died so often mid-game just really shut them down, forced to get a Desperation Rapier, but Aki, even after losing Rapier, unfortunately could not carry hard enough, as GGs are called all around. And that was a sensational game, so hopefully you guys all enjoyed that. I know I did. But thanks all for watching. Please keep supporting as the casting streak does continue. But yeah, I'm just going to spoil the rest of the series. No Tidehunter did win a convincing game 3, probably the most one-sided game of this series. So 3D Max I think fall to 0-2 or maybe 0-3 in the Raidcall Dota 2 League, but still, they might be in the winner's bracket of the Defense 3, so they have every right to be proud of themselves. In a pretty hard group. I mean, their group had Fnatic EU, Navi, and, overall pretty solid opponents. But still, 3D Max is going to ultimately lose this series. So thank you all for watching as usual, and I'll be back with more games very, very soon. So peace out.